right, so I wanted to start something called Talkin' Story, and I just wanted to be a little more casual with the way that we do this little mini-series. And on Kauai, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I used to live in Hawaii, and we would go fishing and just talking story, because we talked the kind of cabbage and everything was really casual, you know, and so we would forget to do things like put the G on the talking stories, and it was just like telling stories, you know, just having time to talk about life. And I wanted to kind of do that with some of the Bible stories. So, long time ago, there was nothing. And so God decided to create the world. And so from nothing, God made everything. And He made the whole world. And then He made the fish in the sea and the birds. He made the plants. He made the rocks. He just kind of made everything. And He made the first people. There were no people, and so God just made the people, Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve, they were in the garden, and because God made a garden of Eden, and Adam and Eve were living there. And do you guys know what happened in the garden?
God told Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit of knowledge, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and then
the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, and then Satan convinced Eve to eat the fruit, and then Eve convinced Adam to eat the fruit, and then they were banished from the Garden of Eden.
That's right. That's right. And what happened when they were out of the Garden of Eden?
They were cursed.
They were cursed. Yeah, that's why we've got to do work. So then they had a couple of kids. And one of the kids was named Abel, and one of the kids was named Cain. And Abel brought some animals and said, you know what, these animals, they're too good for me. I'm going to give them to God. So he sacrificed the animals. And then Cain, he sacrificed wheat. You know, he took flour and said, okay, God, you can have this. And God really liked what Abel brought, but He didn't like what Cain brought. So what happened?
Cain killed Abel from jealousy.
Cain killed Abel from jealousy, that's right. And so now Cain's a murderer. He's the first murderer in human history. And so some time goes by, and Adam and Eve, they have kids, and their kids have more kids, and then they have more kids, and then humans are like everywhere. And then what happened? So guys would be like, oh, I just wish I could do bad things. You know, like God said that humans were always bad in the way that they thought, in the way that they acted. And so God decided that He was going to kill everybody, because everybody was bad. Everybody was naughty. But there was one man who was righteous. Do you guys know who that one man was? Noah.
I watched the movie yesterday.
You watched the movie yesterday?
I like the rock monsters.
You liked the rock monsters? Okay. Rock monsters weren't really real.
It was so good though.
It was fun to watch though in the movie. But the rock monsters were off of the Nephilim. And the Nephilim were real things. What happened was the angels were looking at the daughters of men, and they were like, dude, they're cute. And so they had babies. And their babies were the Nephilim. So they weren't really rock monsters, but they were like things. So God wipes out the human race. And so Noah and his 3 sons, they go out and they populate the earth. And some time goes by, and God decides he's going to start intervening with mankind. So he chooses a guy named Abraham, and he asks Abraham to move to the land of Israel so that Abraham can become his chosen people. And we're going to stop there for today.